Now let's go into this story. Look at this. We all know that the World Economic Forum is not popular at all. People aren't happy with the Great Reset. Whenever they see a new politician get involved with whatever country, if it's in the US, if it's in Australia, it's in Europe, they go to check, okay, is this new rising star politician part of the World Economic Forum? But we got this news today as the World Economic Forum gets underway. The list of world leaders not attending Davos speaks volumes. So less and less people are attending, and also it's because the World Economic Forum tried to push globalism, but we're now starting to head to more nationalism and protectionism, and countries doing what's best for their country, not going along with the three-letter global organizations' agendas. So a slew of heads of state, politicians and business moguls are set to attend the annual World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Attendees this year include Ding Xiaoping, the Vice Premier of China, Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky, Argentina's Javier Milei, and Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of South Africa. And US President-elect Donald Trump is also expected to address the event via video link. However, though, a number of leaders are sidestepping the forum, including, this is interesting, Indian Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping, and a handful of European leaders. So why isn't the Indian Prime Minister attending? Why isn't Chinese Xi Jinping President attending? And let's find out what European leaders aren't attending. So let's dive deeper in this report. So it's that time of the year when the great and the good gather. I don't know about the good, for the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. A slew of heads of state, politicians and business moguls are set to attend the 4-day event in Alpine Resort, but what might be more telling is which leaders are sidestepping the forum. So let's find out which leaders that is. While Donald Trump, who is being inaugurated as the US President on Monday, is expected to address the forum via live video link on Thursday, a number of key leaders will be completely absent from the event. So like we said, Prime Minister Modi, Xi Jinping, the French President, Macron, Italy's leader, Giorgia Meloni, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Wow. Okay, I thought Keir Starmer would definitely be there, kissing the World Economic Forum ring. Okay, so this is very interesting that they're not attending, and let's see if there's any reasons why. Of the group of the 7 G7 industrialized nations, which include the US, Europe's biggest economies, Canada and Japan, the only head of state attending the summit in person is the outgoing German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Olaf. I've got to work on my pronunciation on these European and German names. So the World Economic Forum says this year's event is the 55th annual forum, which runs from Monday to Thursday. So we could have a lot more news come out of the World Economic Forum. And will convene close to 3,000 leaders from over 130 countries, with gathering demonstrating the critical need for dialogue in an increasingly uncertain era. Now that's definitely true. The world is definitely becoming more and more polarized. Countries' conflicts are definitely increasing. So there could be goods come out of it, but I think we all know that it is not very popular at all. It notes that 350 government leaders, including 60 heads of state and governments, will gather in Davos to address pressing challenges and shape emerging opportunities. So what opportunities are they going to be talking about? The theme of the event is collaboration for intelligent age, with the agenda focusing on 5 key areas: reimagining growth, industries in the intelligence age, investing in people, safeguarding the planet, and rebuilding trust. Safeguarding the planet, I think maybe that meant to be planet. Not all world leaders will be there to discuss these issues, however. Well, because, since they did the crazy decision to promote "you'll own nothing and be happy," a lot of people have lost all trust in the World Economic Forum, especially with their push during COVID. A lot of people just completely lost trust. So the leaders of Brazil, China, India, who gave keynote speeches 10 years ago, are not there now. Russia has not been welcome for some years now. Again, if they're wanting to create peace, they should invite everyone, even if they don't get along. Keir Starmer is not going to be there. Macron's not going to be there. A professor of global transformations and governance challenges told CNBC Thursday. So true, the Prime Minister of Spain is going to be there and a couple of others, but the general picture of the heads of state of government that it's not the big players. So yes, if you're not having India, China there, Russia, you're missing out a lot. Brazil, looks like a lot of the BRICS nations aren't really liking the World Economic Forum. I think if you went through the list of the G20, it's going to be a small minority who's attending. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat why you think these leaders aren't attending. So there is often no official reason given for the lack of participation in the World Economic Forum, but pressing domestic problems ranging from slowing economic growth to political crises are known to keep heads of government at home. Well, that's exactly right. Got the inauguration at the US, China. I did a video on China on the main channel. Their economy is imploding. India is probably just focusing on growing their economy. A lot of countries have their own issues. They can't save the world at the moment. So in recent years, there has also been some ambivalence over attending an event that has been accused of being elite and out of touch. That's right. A lot of people think, these are supervillains that are plotting to how they can control the world, and who knows, maybe those theories might be true. Well, I guess it's pretty factual. They are figuring out how to control the world or how to run the world. They say it's for the better, it's for the interest of the majority, but we always don't agree with the political elites. So the forum has repeatedly stated that it provides a space where stakeholders from across businesses, government, academia, civil society, media, and the arts can meet on a global, impartial, not-for-profit platform. These people, it says, come together to find common ground and seize opportunities for positive change on large global issues. Well, a lot of the issues that they thought were very important, like climate change, like vaccines, like AI, like central bank digital currencies, none of the people wanted. None of the people saw this as a big issue, but they were trying to push these issues on the people, and that's why I think a lot of leaders aren't attending. So in a statement to CNBC on Monday, the World Economic Forum said that while it always values the presence of key global leaders, the annual meeting's impact and ability to drive meaningful dialogue and action is defined by the collective efforts of a broad and representative community. Okay, so this year's program, the forum continued, is designed to address the most pressing global challenges, including economic fragmentation, technological transformation, which I think they're talking about AI, and climate action. Okay. So it looks like they're changing it from climate change to climate actions because a lot of their buzzwords do start to lose their effect. So to say, we recognize that global leaders face a wide range of commitments and responsibilities, and their absence does not diminish our ongoing engagement with their respective governments and institutions throughout the year, the World Economic Forum added. So we already went over who will be there. Let's see what else they've said. However, many of the Western institutions in attendance have in recent years found themselves on the wrong side of a push against globalization by populist leaders like Trump and countries like Russia and China. Well, I think that's exactly right. A lot of people want to do what's in their best interest for their countries, and we've all these countries have their own issues. They can't save the world, and the issues that the World Economic Forum is trying to push is not the priorities for the local citizens. The WEF too has fallen foul this anti-establishment trend. Schulte noted that while the presence of leaders like Trump might not have been sought out in the past, there is now an acceptance that the world has changed. That's right. All the leaders that were part of the World Economic Forum were extremely left-leaning. They did not agree with anybody that had conservative views. If you did have conservative views, the World Economic Forum was pushing for censorship. They were trying to end free speech. And now all of a sudden they know, wow, okay, well, all the left-leaning politicians that are trying to censor free speech, censor freedom of expression, trying to put the globalist agenda before these own citizens' best interest. Well, now they're saying, okay, we better go ahead and invite these our conservative leaders. So I don't think that promoters of a liberal, open world economy speak with quite as much disdain, let's say, of contrary forces and views, as they might have done, say, before the global financial crisis, he said. I think there's a bit more modesty that no, it sometimes doesn't fully work, and no, we haven't always taken sufficient amount of those who feel excluded from it. So that's right. A lot of the people on the right, they felt excluded. They felt like we didn't have a voice, no one was representing us, or there was people representing us, but if you did, they were silenced, they were cancelled, they were censored, and they weren't invited to these forums. They just had their own echo chamber of crazy, radical ideas, and people did not like it at all, and now they're doing a complete 180. So there are various indicators that a site like the World Economic Forum isn't as a strong magnet as it might have been a couple of decades ago, which is definitely true. But the idea that it's no longer a magnet, and the idea that it doesn't have certain areas within the World Economic governance where it can still be very strong, they say could be wrong. Well, I think it's very clear these political leaders aren't attending. It shows that the World Economic Forum is losing its power. A lot of people losing trust with it. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below.